Hi guys. Okay, so in this video we are going to be looking at um, another feature of spreadsheets, and one of the tasks that you will most definitely be asked to perform in the spreadsheet component of your SBA, and that is advanced filters or extractions. Okay, so it's called advanced filtering, but another name that it's known by is extractions. Now you would notice that in this instance I am using Microsoft Excel. So I'm using Microsoft Excel primarily because when it comes to that these particular tasks, when it comes to these particular tasks that you may want to perform, you will find that Google Sheets makes those tasks a little bit more complex than, and they're a little more challenging to understand than if you use Microsoft Excel or another spreadsheet program. Now, I also posted some material to guide you towards some alternatives. Okay, and one alternative that I can swear by, and I can tell you is really good, is FreeOffice. And FreeOffice looks very similar to what we're using in Microsoft Office, Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel. So FreeOffice is very similar to that. So that being said, let's jump into how to perform an advanced filter. Now you would recognize the data that I have here. It is the same data from one of the last exercises that you would have done. So this data is just a bunch of athletes, their ages, schools, districts, the races that they run, the total cost of their participation, um, and the total cost of their participation, and also a grant that they will be given um, based on their district. And this, you remember, was a lookup table that was used to get the grant being shown. So you remember this from the last exercise that we did. So an advanced filter is different from a filter. In Microsoft Excel, you're able to filter your data, and filtering your data simply means having your data to show only what it is that you specify. Many times students will confuse advanced filters with filters, and they end up losing marks because of that. Advanced filters, when they are specifically asked for, will extract, and that's another reason why it's called an extraction. It extracts data from your block of data. It will extract the required data based on criteria that you specify, and it will place it at an alternate location, at a different location, and where it normally is. Okay, whereas a filter will filter your data in place. Okay, it will filter your data in place. And just to give you an example, um, you know, if I select this data and I turn on filters, and I turn on filters here, then I can filter my data based on particular criteria. So if I wanted to where is it, if I wanted to filter by district, and I only wanted to show the West district, then I could do this and select West. Okay, and I could click OK, and in place it would filter my data showing only West. So if while I was showing West, I only wanted to show individuals who were over the age of 14, then I could go here to number filters, and then I can go across to greater than. Okay, so it says show rows where age is greater than, and I can say 14. Okay, and I can click OK, and again it filters my information in place. So that is a filter, and that is not, you know, what you're going to be required to do for your SBA. It seems relatively easy to do this. It seems relatively easy to do this, but there are some instances where you might want to have a bit more complex, you know, criteria, or you want to get that data displayed in an alternate location. You don't want that filtering to be done. In other words, you want to continue to see your original block of data, but you still want to see the data that you have extracted. Okay, so I'm going to turn this filter off so that we can get back all our data, and we're going to go to our steps. Now, one of the first things that I like to do, one of the first steps that I like to perform when I am doing an advanced filter, is to copy my headings. So I'm going to copy, this is the data that I want to extract from. Notice that I'm leaving out everything that is in the periphery of it. So I'm leaving out this fee per event, I'm leaving out the lookup table here, I'm leaving out what's at the bottom here. So I am selecting the headings for my data from last name down to grant, and I'm going to copy this, and about 2 or 3 rows down I'm going to paste this this heading, these headings. Okay, so effectively what I have done is I've just copied the headings and I have pasted them. Okay, so that's the very first thing that I do. Okay, now the second step is to create a criteria. The second step is to create a criteria. Now, in creating a criteria, we are going to tell Microsoft Excel, we're going to tell our spreadsheet software on what grounds do we want this data to be shown. You know, what are the things we're looking for? So let us say I wanted to extract, just like a while ago, all of the athletes from the West District who are above the age of 14. So I'm going to go below my headings here, and in the relevant columns, I'm going to put in my criteria. So under age, I'm going to put greater than 14. So we use logical operators for the numbers. So if we wanted to show all of the people whose age was 17, we would, for the number, we would put equals 17. Okay, if we wanted to show all of the people whose age was greater than or equal to 14, we would say greater than equal to 14. Okay, so let's say that I wanted to show all of the people whose age was greater than 14. Okay, so I would type greater than sign 14, and I want to make sure that they are from the West District. Now, the district West is not a number, it is a word. So what I'm going to put under district is the exact district that I'm looking for. Now, there are a couple errors that people sometimes make. One of the errors that they make is that they may have the way that you write your labels in your criteria is it should be the same as the way that you have it in your original set of data. So if I have West with a capital W here and I put West with a small w here, I'm going to not get any data being extracted because the spreadsheet software does not recognize this word as being in my original data up here. So the way that you do it, the way that you write it in your original data is the way that you do it in your criteria. Okay? Now, something else that I want to point out to you. I am searching for data that meets both criteria at the same time. Extraction will pull out any records that this extraction will pull out will have to satisfy both of these conditions. So the records that it's pulling out have to satisfy the condition that the age has to be greater than 14 and the district has to be West. So for this reason, I place them on the same row. However, if I wanted my data to satisfy either or, one or the other, if I wanted my data to satisfy either the age being greater than 14 or the district was West, then I would put them on separate rows. Okay, so we have an AND situation and we have an OR situation. So in the AND situation, we would put West and greater than 14 on the same row. And in an OR situation where only one of the conditions need to be satisfied at all, it doesn't matter which, then we would put West on a different row from the first criteria. Okay, so that is the first thing. All right, so I'm going to revert back to what we had. We want the age to be greater than 14 and we want the district to be West. Okay, so once that is done, once we have our data here, we have copied the headings and we have built our criteria range, then it is time for us to do our extraction. So to do our extraction, we go to the Data tab and we click it and we move over to the Sort and Filter group where we click on Advanced. And right away, you notice that there's some sort of indication of something going on. So we have three options here, two being active and one being grayed out. The first thing we have to do is we have to identify our list range. Now our list range is the original block of data from the headings right down to the last row. So the block of data, the range of data that we want to extract the data, the information from based on our criteria is what we're putting here. Okay, so in order to get the list range, you select the range of data that you want to get your information from, and you can do this by simply clicking and dragging to select. Okay, now if you notice, when this thing first opened up, it had already had my list range selected for me already, so I could have left it. So I just basically was just showing your criteria range. Your criteria range is the criteria that you specified, including the headings that you copied. So I'm copying from last name down to Grant, and I'm including the range with the criteria that I specified. Okay, if it was an OR situation and I had two rows, I would have to select both rows. Okay, but with this one is only one row plus the headings, and I select that. So this is your criteria range. Your criteria range is the headings you copied plus the criteria that you specified. Now we come to this grayed out area here, which is copy to. Now remember that I said an advanced filter allows you to extract your data and place it in an alternate location, in a separate location from where you originally had your data, unlike a filter which filters in place. Okay, so we're going to go here, we're going to uncheck copy to another location, and in the copy to area, we're going to specify where we want to paste our data. Now, if you wanted to paste your data on another sheet, or if you wanted to paste it on the original sheet, all that can be done. And the way that you do this is that you simply select a cell or select a row of cells where where the first row of your extracted data is going to appear. For me, I just simply select one cell. Let me go a little lower down. Okay, so I select one cell, and once I'm done doing that, I can go ahead and click OK. And when I click OK, what do you see? Well, it has extracted for me all of the athletes from the West District whose age is greater than 14. Okay, there are people whose ages are greater than 14, but they are not from the West District, so therefore the information does not show. Okay, so that, guys, is how you perform an advanced filter or extraction. So I hope this was clear to you. You can watch the video as many times as possible. And in the next video that I post, we're going to be looking briefly at something called pivot tables, which is another another aspect of of spreadsheets that you would need to be able to cover. Thank you for watching.